Hey everybody, it's Brandon Hartness here, real estate agent in the foothills of Western North Carolina. And today we're going to do a video with some tips and tricks on how to sell vacant land. Of course, there's a lot of different kinds of vacant land. We have commercial lots, we have building lots, we have rural tracts for hunting and recreation. We have lakefront properties. There's a lot of different kinds of land, but we're just going to do some general tips and tricks. But before we get started, please hit the subscribe button below so you never miss another video from me. And as always, please feel free to reach out to me anytime if I can help you in any way here in North Carolina. So let's get started. All right, so the first thing I'd say about selling vacant land is obviously it's different from selling houses. That's one thing. A lot of people kind of think the sale is going to go quick and it's similar to selling houses. It's a lot different. The groups of people who are looking to buy land typically are a lot different than who's looking to buy a house. A lot of times we have families looking to buy houses that are move-in ready, or we have investors looking to buy houses in order to flip and make a profit. Land buyers, whether it's individuals or developers, a lot of times they're looking for the right location and the right opportunity that fits their custom needs, whether it be commercial needs, individual needs, or whatever it may be. So if you want to sell to land developers or those looking to buy land, you kind of need to understand what they're looking for and be able to showcase those unique things that your property offers that they're looking for. So another thing I'd say about land is it's a little harder to get buyers to see themselves there. Obviously, if it's developers or investors, may not be as big a deal. They're looking at numbers and business opportunity. But if your market is buyers or individuals, with a house, it's pretty easy for them to be able to see themselves there. We can do virtual tours of the house, we can do virtual staging, we can have open houses. With land, it's a little harder. Also, I'd say the market for land is just less active in general. The market for existing homes is almost always going to be more robust than that for land sales. And the fact is, there are simply fewer number of buyers for vacant land than consumers who are looking for homes. So let's take, for example, if you start marketing a home and a piece of vacant land at the same time. So let's say they're both competitively priced. It's reasonable to expect that you'll get fewer contracts for the vacant land and that it will take longer to sell. So that's just the reality of the market for land sales. And you can also expect fewer contracts overall for land sales. So the big thing I would say there is first be patient. If you're looking for a quick sale, a quick closing, a lot of times that's just not the case with land. Sometimes it is, but statistically speaking, it's going to take longer. There's going to be more inspections, things are more drawn out. So those are just kind of some of the things to prepare yourself for before you even get ready to sell. So the first thing I'd say with selling land is to try to understand who your buyer is and what they will need. Your buyer profile can depend on a lot of things, whether the land has been developed at all, whether it has access to water and sewer, its location, its zoning, market conditions, a lot of things. So that's kind of one of the first things is to go in and assess your land, figure out what the restrictions are, what the zoning is, and kind of ask yourself, what's the very best use for this land? There may be a few things, but kind of getting those things in mind, that can kind of help you start to target the right buyers who will be interested in making a good offer on the land that you have. And of course, you can check on the local GIS. You can check with your planning and zoning in your county, whether it's city limits, county zoning. This will kind of depend on if it's in the city limits or not. But if you ever need any assistance or anything finding any of those zoning things, please reach out to us. We'd be glad to help. So the second thing I'd say is have the land ready. First impressions are very lasting in real estate. And it's like when selling a home, you would never leave out dirty laundry for potential buyers to see. So the same thing is true about your lot. Try to make sure there's any trash, debris cleaned up there. If you can mow, bush hog, trim the trees, anything to make it more accessible and more inviting to buyers really does make a difference. We've even had some sellers, we've helped them go in and plant wildflowers and other shrubs and things just to make the land more beautiful and more appealing. Another thing I'd say is should consider having your property surveyed before you list. Of course, this isn't required, but it just helps so much alleviate buyers' concerns. It's just one less thing they're going to have to do. And it really gives them a good idea of what they're getting, and it helps you actually market the property because you have a really good idea of what you have. And also one thing I'd say about surveys, they can do a full map survey, but a lot of times just having the corners marked, is just enough. That's enough. And one of the things I mentioned, just especially in, residential, but kind of everywhere is, setbacks, kind of be aware of your setbacks. That goes along with knowing restrictions and covenants and those kind of things. But, setbacks are important, especially if it's a lake property, there's a different kind of setback for the water. So again, any questions, please feel free to reach out about that. One other thing I would say when it comes to land, especially is if you're open to it, consider owner financing. I've seen a lot of situations where people are able to put, a pretty good amount of money down on a piece of land and finance it with the seller, for 5 or 10 years. If that's something you're open to, it can really open up doors for you. It can get you a good down payment, some money in your pocket, and a monthly payment coming in with interest income, And now the worst case scenario is they default and you have to foreclose on the property. But the potential there is to get back the property and to have the money they paid you plus the payments they had, plus you'll have your property back. So there's a lot of benefits to seller financing, I think, both for the seller and the buyer, as long as both sides just have a clear understanding of what they're signing up for. Another thing I'd say, I would use online listings targeted to lot and land buyers. Of course, in general, we always recommend somehow, some way, get your property online these days, but there's actually a special market for land and lot buyers, and you can spend a pretty reasonable amount of money online just to kind of target toward those kind of buyers. And we see a good return on that. And of course, for our clients, when we list, we do targeted ad reach. That's something we do for our listing. So, of course, if you do list with us, it's going to be targeted toward those developers or buyers who are looking for the type of land that you have. So another thing I would say is to show your property at its best. This is something we talked about previously. It can be a lot harder to market vacant land compared to a home. So some of the things you can do are try to use attractive photos. Of course, we'd recommend professional photography, video, drone shots. Those are things that we offer to all our sellers. We think it's well worth it. But at most attractive photos that you can get, the natural features of the land, try to take those things into account. If there's a sunset, a beautiful landscape that you love, try to capture that. The view from your property and even community amenities. You can also use maps and surveys and GIS pics and things like that we talked about before to kind of show buyers where your boundaries are and what they're actually getting. Another thing I would recommend, even though it's not the same as an open house, I would always recommend to walk the property with a buyer. A lot of times you'll get buyers call for vacant land. They want to go out and look, and that's great. And sometimes they just want to go by themselves and they know what they're looking for. But a lot of times with buyers, we've seen it, especially with residential lots, they do love to have someone meet them out there, even if it's the seller, just to walk them through, tell them a little bit of history about the land. And, that those things can really go a long way. So I'd always be open to walk the land if you can. Also, when it comes to a sign, of course, we recommend putting a sign out there. It's really true. I mean, maybe more so with land, it's important to let the people around the area know that it is for sale. They may be less likely to see it online or on social media. So it's always important to have a sign out there. When it comes to land, just one thing I would recommend is to consider, besides just your standard for sale sign, is to kind of put something specific for that piece of land, what it offers, whether it's a building lot, whether it's a lake lot, whether it offers a lot of acreage, hunting potential, timber, those kind of things. If you can get that unique feature of your land on your sign, I think that does help a lot. And of course, with our clients, when we list, whether it be tracks or whatever it is, we do offer customized signs that offer exactly what that unique feature of that property is. So those are just some basic tips and strategies to help you when it comes to selling vacant land. Of course, there's a ton more that goes into it. This just scratches the surface. And so the very last thing I would recommend is to, of course, work with a real estate agent. It's just my opinion. We offer our clients full service when it comes to land sales. We offer full drone shots, online advertising, customized signs, targeted ads, everything we can do to get your land sold. Because like I said, it is a more challenging process than selling a home. So I hope you got something useful out of this video. Please subscribe so you never miss another video from me. And as always, please feel free to reach out anytime if I can help you in any way. If you want to learn more or just to talk, call, text, email, find me online, or message me on social media. However is best for you is best for me. Thanks so much for watching.